Hey guys, John here. This is a quick video, a response to Rick the FatmanGM on his video on overland travel. Rick had some good points about overland travel, and this will just kind of be an addendum to that. I will put a link to his channel and that video in the description. First though, this is a little thing for Rick, as he pointed out in some of the conversation I was talking to him. Here you go. The first cover of the first edition Dungeon Master's Guide. As you see, it's the Ifrit, or demon, on the cover with the adventurers fighting it. On the back is the City of Brass. Really cool cover. But yeah, first edition. This is what the first version looks like. I do have the version Rick has with the Dungeon Master looking wizard at the front gates. However, that's at my parents' house still. I let my dad still have that because in case he wants to game still on one of his whims, he has books and he doesn't have to worry about, you know, finding books. That's on that. Another thing that Rick touched on about second edition AD&D. I have a different version than he has. This is second edition. This is the second edition DMG. Some good artwork. It doesn't say second edition on it, but these particular printings were black, and they had the red Advanced Dungeons and Dragons logo and the Dragon TSR logo. Also, all you have to do is open it up and look at the beautiful color illustrations in it. That's this printing of second edition. Anyway, overland travel. To kind of elaborate on what Rick said earlier. Yeah, overland travel, it is one of those things that sometimes we as DMs, GMs, referees, judges, whatever you want to be called, we overlook sometimes in expediting our story. However, you know, part of it is, you know, that is the story in a lot of ways. Getting from point A to point B, you know, it's in the adventure. You don't have to be simulated, so simulationist to say, well, you need this many days worth of rations, and you need this water, this iron rations, all that calculus in there. You can assume things as adventurers. You can. You know, it doesn't have to be so rigid. However, there is a certain fun as a game master and as a player going, this is what I have in my pack, and this is ready for an adventure, you know. There's a certain level of joy, at least for me. But then again, I'm a 23-year-old gamer who loves stuff like this, so I don't know. Yeah, just a slam on myself. But yeah, there is a certain joy of kind of figuring out, you know, how to do your travel, you know, what routes you're going to take. My God, I think I spent one time in a session where we were planning, even on an airship, what route we were going to take, and it took us like a good chunk of the beginning of the session on what route we were going to take, just because that impacted what encounters we would have, you know, how much time we would have, that type of thing. You know, safe routes versus, you know, riskier routes, but quicker routes, that type of thing. I ran a game. I had a group of PCs fleeing from a dragon army in my world, and a lot of that was traveling, you know, a lot of walking. Thank God they had a wagon. But yeah, eventually the two druids split off from the party to go back to their druid mountain and talk to their druids, and eventually they got a quest that led them to another city, a city that the other group of the party were heading to, but it would take them a while because they were going a different route. Yes, I split the party. I split the party all the time. It just happens. when you facilitate a story sometimes. It just happens naturally. And sometimes my players split on their own. But yeah, anyway, I wanted to really talk about a story per se about overland travel in a game that I played in. That was a couple years ago. I've talked about it before on my channel and some other videos. If you go back and see my crazy hair, if that was a video with my crazy hair, but if you go back, it was when my dad came back to the hobby. He ran a game, a first edition game, actually, and it was the old Slave Lord modules, A1 through A4. This one was A0 because it was the anniversary special right before 5th edition came out. And that was, my dad kind of built it around as we were kind of relatively a low magic game. A lot of us were barbarians to start out with. You know, in our tribe, you know, we had the slavers took members of our tribes, and we were going out to rescue those members and defeat the slavers. And a lot of that was, you know, it was set in the world of Greyhawk. But a lot of that was getting there, you know, dealing with rations, dealing with, you know, what route are we taking? Well, this route's faster. This route's on the road, so it is faster. This is, you know, this route would require us bushwhacking through hills and forests, crossing rivers. So we had to deal with barges at one point. We entered towns and met NPCs. We met Gerard, fantastic tailor, who may or may not have been gay, which was even more funny watching your straight dad do his gay impression or his effeminate impression. Just kind of funny. Not that I'm being homophobic at all, just, you know, it's a humoring moment, you know, when you see that, and, you know, the funny voices and stuff. But yeah, that, you know, it was all about that. It was all about getting there and going through, you know, dealing with, you know, travel, getting there, making sure we had supplies, and we all enjoyed it. We generally did. My dad wasn't a stickler on encumbrance, but it was kind of, wait, you're wearing, you know, a full set of plate mail, you have your pack full of that much gear, and you want to do this? Yeah. But anyway, the overland travel, yeah, we had a ball. You know, it eventually led us to some side adventures. You know, we had to get on a ship to get to the next slaver dungeon. We shipwrecked on an island, where we came in contact with a leprechaun named Seamus, who wanted us to get the soul gem from the ghost tower of Inverness. The adventure right here, which has become one of my favorite adventures. Even though I did have a character that died to the Medusa in that. But, of course, I died like 3 times in this particular campaign. And, yeah, it's just fun. Eventually that campaign, you know, we got done with A2, the Secrets of the Slither Stockade. We somehow got teleported back to where we started. And then we were trying to get back to the Slave Lords, but then, you know, there was a griffin egg that one of the party members came up, and we were taking it to a monastery. And eventually we got a quest to go deal with some pesky giants up in the, you know, we had to climb a beanstalk to go deal with some giants. That was fun, and a lot of that, you know, would not have been possible if we weren't taking the time and doing overland travel. So, yeah, definitely, overland travel's very much important to the game, you know. Even if you kind of hand wave it and it's for the narrative, you know, there's even points where, you know, it makes sense. On a side note, from that game was one of my favorite games that I played in. On a side note, you know, some settings lend themselves to having richer overland travel experiences. Dark Sun, for instance, the world of Athos, this almost hell on earth world with feral elves traveling in raiding parties and cannibal halflings and, you know, dust storms and, you know, heat exhaustion and worrying about your water. Stuff like that, you know, comes naturally to at least Dark Sun as a setting. So really those types of campaigns really do have a benefit of overland traveling, as just getting from city-state to city-state on a merchant caravan is a struggle. Let alone finding a desert ruin to go crawl through. But yeah, definitely overland travel, even if it's, you know, sea voyages or airship voyages, that stuff's important. You know, it's important to the game, and even if you hand wave a little points, it's important to have, you know, maybe just a little bit, you know, you could work something out as part of the story, and maybe create PCs being pursued, or they just see something of interest. As someone who's driven highways, you know, I've driven Interstate 80 across the state of Pennsylvania numerous times to get home, and, you know, sometimes you just pull off to the side for a restroom and something catches your eye, so you kind of follow that rabbit hole for a bit, and if it turns out fruitful, turns out fruitful. If not, you get back on your way. But yeah, you know, the story's in the journey, not just in the destination. But yeah, that's my little thought on overland travel. Hope it was helpful. Thank you again to Rick for posting this. I look forward to more videos of his. And for all of you watching, go check out his channel. He puts out some great content, and been playing for a long time. And just go check out his stuff. And as always, I'm John, in my vault of the Dungeon Master, and happy gaming!